My first impressions of the Logitech G502 Proteus core. So right out of the box we have the Logitech G502 Proteus core mouse. A quick note, this mouse has been said to use one of the best sensors out there today, which is the Pixart 3366. Check that out on Google to see which other mice use that sensor in case you were looking for a different styled Logitech mouse. So included in the box we have some paper, warranty hazard information, and of course a setup guide manual with the Logitech website so that you can download the custom software in order to customize the mouse settings. Inside the box I also found a small plastic hexagon case with 5 small weights in it, each weight weighing 3.6 grams, which can easily be added to the mouse by opening the magnetic cover on the bottom of the mouse and placing them between the rubber slots. But honestly I doubt that you'll need to add any since the mouse without the weights is somewhat on the heavier side, weighing approximately 128 grams. To compare the G502's weight, I have an old Microsoft optical mouse that I've been using as my main until of course now. So this is an old mouse I bought around 4 years ago. It's a basic optical mouse version 2.1 and the model of it is a 1094. So taking a look at the mouse, my first impressions are as follows. Very impressive looking mouse, a nice Logitech G logo that actually makes me think that this is a Google mouse. But those don't exist, right? So we have a matte soft sandpaper style finish at the top, and on the sides we have rubber grips. Mouse's wire is braided and looks good, but I'm worried about the extra drag it will add when moving the mouse. On the other hand, I'm not much of a gamer, so it won't affect me as much as it might affect serious FPS gamers. Button placements are okay. I definitely do see myself clicking on the wrong buttons, but that may be because I've never actually used an 11 button mouse before. That's right, this mouse has 11 programmable buttons in total, and that's including the DPI switch. Mouse feels comfortable and contours to the arch of my palm. I'm a claw mouse gripper, so I'll definitely have to use this for a bit to see how I actually end up handling it and how comfortable it actually is over time. But honestly, the mouse looks and feels good in the hand. It feels expensive if that makes any sense, especially when comparing it to one of those cheap Chinese mice that you would get off Amazon, AliExpress, or eBay. So now let me demonstrate the buttons. The first 2 triangular buttons that I almost missed are the DPI sensitivity switchers, up for higher and down for lower. They have that bounce to them when clicking, which adds some character to the button. To the right of that we have the primary index finger button, which feels nice and has a groove in it for your index finger. The button has no travel to the click, which is good so you get that instant click as soon as you press it. The next is the mouse wheel that clicks in 3 directions, right, left, and down, and uses 3 separate buttons for each direction clicked. And of course the famous never-ending spinning wheel, which can be switched to the regular scroll by clicking the lock wheel button. Here we have the middle finger button, and it has a little more resistance than the index finger button, but still clicks fairly easy. In the middle we have a DPI profile switch, so you can have a maximum of up to 3 profiles with different DPI settings to switch from using triangular buttons at the top. Now this mouse goes all the way up to 12,000 DPI and all the way down to 200 DPI. So 12,000 DPI is actually a lot. And if you look at the side of the profile switch button, you do see 3 LED indicator lights, which actually tells you which profile you're on. On the side of the mouse we have 3 thumb buttons, 2 of them being easily accessible and the one in the back feels a bit hard to get to. Overall buttons feel nice and easy to push. Buttons on the side however do have some travel to them until the click, but honestly if I game I'll probably use them for something like toggling my weapons. On the bottom of the mouse we have that nice baby blue edge that is actually part of the bottom cover that opens up to reveal some storage grooves for the added weights I spoke about previously. Okay, so now for my first impressions on the performance of the G502. Okay, so right away plugging the mouse into my laptop, the mouse logo lights up blue and the mouse works. Moving the mouse on my SteelSeries mousepad, it moves quite smoothly, and what I mean by that is it doesn't stick behind on a stop like my previous mouse. When moving around the mouse it does feel a bit on the heavy side, and I do see it potentially being a strain on my wrist in the long run, but I'll be using it for the next week or so and will most definitely let you know if it gets to the point where it becomes uncomfortably heavy. Okay, so I went ahead and installed the Logitech G502 software so that I could customize the mouse, but unfortunately I don't see any option of switching the color of the blue LED logo. And that's most probably because I do have the cheaper version of the G502, which doesn't come with the added LEDs. But honestly, all the G502 models are exactly the same, besides for the fact that some of them can change LED colors. So if you did want those changeable LEDs, you will have to spend a few more bucks. So within the Logitech software settings, you have an option to set up and calibrate the mousepad so that the sensor works well with the material that it's on. Alright, so now that I have that set up, I'm going to go ahead and start up some Day of Defeat. and see how my gameplay goes from there. So far the mouse performs really well compared to my previous Microsoft mouse. I find myself switching between DPI settings, something I would have never done before. It makes sniping more precise or just moving around as an infantryman a lot easier. Also for small scale editing or highlighting tasks, I find this mouse to be a lot more accurate. Here's me drawing some circles. I'll most definitely need to test the mouse out further before I give out my full opinion, so stay tuned for that. Overall, the mouse looks and works fantastic. So far, I'm really happy with it, and the performance and accuracy increase between this and my old Microsoft mouse is huge. The Logitech G502 blows my old mouse out of the water, so that's definitely worth the 50 bucks I spent on it. Anyway, those are my first impressions of the Logitech G502. If you were thinking of upgrading your cheap mouse, then I'd highly recommend buying any Logitech mouse over 40 bucks, especially if you're doing a lot of video editing, gaming, or for that matter, any work with your PC. It literally changes everything. Well, that is going to be it for now. Again, I will be coming out with another video on this mouse within the next few weeks or so stay tuned for that. Well guys, don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you did find this video helpful, and if you didn't, leave a thumbs up anyway. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.